Blog Talk Radio.
Live from Washington, D.C., it's Quintessential Listening, Poetry Online Radio. Now, here's your host, Dr. Michael Anthony Ingram.
Good evening, everyone. This is Michael Anthony Ingram with Quintessential Listening Poetry Online Radio. My very special guest tonight, I'm pleased to announce, is John Patrick Robbins. John, are you with me?
Yes, I'm here, Michael. How are you? Great to be on the show.
I'm quite well, sir. How are you?
I'm always smashing.
All right. Well, as I said earlier, prior to the program, that in your new book, The Steel Night Sessions, you took us on a roller coaster ride. Tell me about this roller coaster.
Well, it's a much deeper book. If you're used to my work, you know, if you're looking for a party, there's some humor in there. I mean, because it's me after all. But it's kind of like I decided to go extremely personal, and kind of because I'm deeply private. So I decided to kind of let people in, and a lot of it's pretty obvious what happened in the book. A lot of it deals with death. It deals with a suicide attempt. It deals with a lot of things that probably most people would not publish and talk about. But you know me, I'm like, hey, I can publish this and exploit the hell out of it. So I do. So
right.
But
right.
Hey, it's all great. It's cheaper than therapy. But it's a very deep book.
It's incredible just the level of insight that you share about yourself. I was stunned, to be quite honest. I really, really was. In a positive way. In a positive way, because I feel like I learned more about you by reading your work.
Well, I'm glad, and it was meant to kind of be that way, and you know, like, I mean, I like to make everybody laugh, but I just want to. That book was probably more for myself than the reader, and I think that's why it connects, you know. So anyway.
All right. Well, let me ask this question. What do you think you learned about yourself from writing this book?
Then I'm really messed up.
Well, I did pick that up, but and I had a couple of numbers of people that I was going to give
with
you
Michael
therapy-wise.
Ingram and John Patrick Robbins. What a lovely show.
No, I didn't pick that up.
Yeah, I was going to say, you don't have to worry about it. I know I'm crazy. But no, I mean,
well,
that's
probably why I could relate so well, because I'm crazy too. So
well, see, that's why we get along so well. We connect automatically. It's been too long, Michael. I mean, I'm glad you lifted restraining order and finally learned that we were meant to be together. Now here we are again.
Yes.
So all the listeners.
Here we are again.
So.
Yes. I mean, I'm quite excited about tonight, my friend. Hey, and we're here tonight for you to share work from your book and other works that you have. So let's get this party started right. Please share some work with us, some of your work.
We'll start off with something a little bit, because this book goes up and down, as you said, so let's start off with a little bit more humorous. This is called Real Thought from the Thoughtless. Recently, someone asked me, "Hey, John, you don't really drink, do you?" I was befuddled. How had this person figured it out? Was my cover finally blown? I mean, nobody knew this was all part of a RICO case I had been working on all along. To infiltrate poetic militias. And then in reality, I was really a health nut in a fat suit who only drank fresh water and never touched drugs than anybody else, because that can lead to lawsuits for people not liking me on Facebook. I mean, I thought my act was rock solid. I had to contact my supervisor. Years of work all went down the drain. Yeah, my name wasn't even John. It was really Gunther Starsberg. How could I have failed on such deep level? I walked off without even replying. I mean, my permanent liver damage and bad heart was such a great disguise. Sometimes I have to question, what are people truly smoking that stumble across my words? For it must be some good shit. You can't make this stuff up, so they say. But they never said you couldn't write about it. Cheers. There you go.
Wow.
That's that one.
Wow. I really like that line. Sometimes I have to question what are people truly smoking that stumbled upon my words. Beautiful.
I know.
Beautiful.
I know. Almost as good as what I was smoking in the green room. I'm just saying.
Well, hopefully you save some for me.
Well, wow, we're not even going to say that we already did. I mean, the party's not over when we're off air, people. You're just not invited.
That's true. That's true.
All right.
Give us another poem, my friend.
Okay. This is a little bit of a deeper one, and it dedicates this to my good buddy, Ryan Quintessential, brother of the frat. I know he digs this one, and so I'm reading this for him because I want to prove I can read. He doesn't even believe me. Anyways, this is called Dennis Took a Dive. He was looking for treasure, so he said, in the cold waters below in Marina del Rey. His friends tried to stop him, but he was full of life and a liter of vodka. His marriage was on the skid. His band wanted him out unless he checked into rehab. He was one of the only ones that could actually surf, a wild man and past heartthrob. He kept diving to his friends' dismay, producing various scraps of junk, a rope, an old picture frame he had tossed from that very same slip from a previous marriage. There was such glee in his insanity and life within his soul, and on Christmas Day, Dennis Wilson dove one last time to never return to this world alive. Maybe he found that treasure he so desired. My hope is he found peace instead. We are but a cork on the ocean. Rest well within her depths. Sail on, sailor. And that's the end of that one.
Dennis took a dive.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. They never found it. Well, they did find it, but anyway. It's not like he vanished from Narnia or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he took his own life?
Well, no, he was obviously he was very highly intoxicated and going through quite a few things in life, like we do, and probably his heart couldn't take it, and just he ended up drowning. So yeah, happy. That's how you really bring up the room, Michael. You mentioned death.
Yes, that's true. That's a party starter, all right. That's a party starter. I've never asked you whether you come from a literary background or not.
Oh, I would say describe what you mean by a literary background. No, I definitely. Oddly enough, my grandfather did write a column for the local paper in Virginia Beach. I believe it's Pilot. I'm probably misquoting that. But anyways.
Okay.
He won't get too mad, but he was a fantastic artist. That's who I dedicated the book to, and he was a character as well. People think I'm nuts. They should have met him because he was a true character. So yeah.
Right.
So
what did you learn about writing growing up? What did you learn about writing, or was it something that you took on later in life?
No, my art was always around. And I was just always naturally into books. I was just a bookworm, so it's really hard to remember when it wasn't. I just connected to that escapism, and I guess those writers that influenced me so much, that's what I wanted to do. I thought, wow, that's so awesome that, I just wanted to do that. I didn't know how I was going to. I wasn't the most academic person in the world. But, I just knew that's what I wanted to do. But, yeah, writing was always there. It just wasn't, there was never a point that art wasn't around me. So I was very lucky. My family was really artistic, so kind of grew up around artists. So I was lucky on that.
All right, very nice.
Yeah.
Share another poem, please, for us.
All right. This is once again, it's amazing how I'm reading. I'm being a cartoon character, then I read all this serious stuff, but there's another one a little bit serious and kind of got the theme of the book. It's called Company Time. Not so long ago, I tried to commit suicide. Nobody had a clue, nor did I run to social media for sympathy. I swallowed a bottle of pills and washed it down with a few good stiff drinks. I didn't leave a note, for I damn sure didn't want to edit anything, let alone my farewell from this earth. And to my surprise and disgust, I awoke late that afternoon, sick, but very much alive. Writers wondered why their poems were not published, as others inquired about their submissions. This wasn't the first time I had attempted to take my own life. But apparently I'm very hard to kill or incredibly stupid when it comes to death. Only one person knew about my true destructive nature, and the guilt I felt for sharing this burden is something I can never explain. People do not need to know my truth, as nobody would truly concern themselves with my departure. Tonight I question how much longer I can keep playing at this facade. I do not care to know this emptiness anymore. I just want peace and my pages to be read. You'll never benefit from knowing the man behind the words, for he is fractured beyond repair and tortured by design. I am buried by addiction and driven in my depression. I hand out humor because I know the pain of feeling nothing at all. I have helped many. The only sad part is I can never help myself. Truth is never pretty. That's the end of that one.
That's a very, I was reading along with you, that's a very, very, very powerful work, my friend. Very powerful.
Yeah, well, that one, that was, I mean, you know, when I did the book, I mean, I don't know, it was just something that I just wanted to do a book that was, I mean, I always say I'm unfiltered, but, you know, ultimately sometimes I was holding back, and
yes.
I'm not going to hold back at all, so that, you know, people, it's just, that's the thing, is just, you know, it's true writing, and therefore it kind of influenced the whole book. The book's reflecting upon everything, and that's why it's like a journey the way it is.
Yes, how has your book been received?
Well, I mean, you know, I have to say people were a bit shocked. I think it shocked them at first, but overall it's been really good thus far. You know, I think it really, if you go by like sex, drugs, and poetry and things like that, once it's really just more entertainment driven. When you come across this, it's just different. It you know, as you know, as you experience, it just will. It is a roller coaster ride to a degree. It's gonna take you through all those emotions, and probably, like you said, it's a little bit different than what people would expect. But I think that's good. I think every book should be different. You know, so that, you know, hope that answers that.
Well, you know, it's funny. Your story, your poem, Company Time, could be my story. There are so many truths. As you state, truth is never pretty. There are so many truths in this work that I could totally relate to. I could totally relate, and have felt sometimes myself on the verge of despair and not knowing how to rise out of it. So I can understand.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, it really touched me.
No, well, I'm glad it did. It's like like I said, the book. I don't know. It's the book I had to do. I had the title for years, and I just wasn't the writer I needed to be to write it. And then I finally am, I guess. You know, it's a different book. I will say that. If you're going to buy one book by me, I would buy this one. So,
all right.
You know.
Well, let's take a brief break, and we'll be right back.
Mm.
I'm here with John Patrick Robbins. The call-in number is 646-787-1631. And, John, actually, we have a caller.
Oh. All right.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm going to bring this person on. Area code 832. The first three numbers are 802. You're on the air.
Whoa, man. I don't know if I was actually on, but, no, I have a question for John. So,
yes.
Any bad stuff happen when writing this? Not like this book has anything strange.
Yeah. What's the question? I love how you don't state your name, and yet I clearly know you.
Oh. Well, I could be anybody, dude. My name is Scott, though, and I'm very attractive.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to know. I can tell by your voice.
No, I don't know. I got a serious though, dude. I don't know. You want to tell anything crazy stuff that happened while you work on the book, man? I just figured that'd be interesting.
Oh, crazy that happened on the book. Let's see. I think we had a little tornado come through. I've had a fire. I've had. I haven't been hit by lightning, but I'm holding out as much as I seem to play with everything. So yeah, everything crazy happened, and once again, my lovely co-editor Scott Simmons, just so Michael knows, wow, who's this kid that sounds like he's on way too many drugs? He edited even a dope Fiend edit.
Damn it, John, you blew my cover.
Uh-oh. Sorry, kid.
Yeah, man. Just wanted to say, dude, read's going real well, man.
All right. Thank you, Scott. That's very nice to know.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for calling in.
Thanks for letting me on, Michael.
All right. John, without further ado, I'm turning the program over to you. Share some more of your work.
Okay. Made me kind of laugh. Anyways, people wonder why, when you call your magazine the Dope Fiend Daily and you sound like you have to be scraped off the wall, it's very fitting.
Right.
All right. I always read one for a very good friend of class, Robert Lee White, and this is one for him. This is called Sonny. Often we saw him, as me and Robert were always in different stages of hungover, and always eager to get home and chase the buzz all over again. But as we checked out from the usually tourist-packed grocery store, it never failed. We always saw Sonny. Sonny was a Down syndrome kid who we nicknamed Sonny because no matter rain or shine, he was always happy. In all truth, he was a grown man I recalled seeing since I was a little kid. He bagged groceries for people largely ignored him. He's the one they chose not to see. His speech was a bit off. His mood always happy. He cracked Robert up, and Sonny was just happy not to be ignored. It's funny how normal people shun what they deem broken, as so-called Christians act more as hypocrites, turning a blind eye to what they deem an embarrassment. Sonny never complained and always smiled. He never saw titles. He only viewed people, no matter if they deserved it or not. More people in this world could benefit more if only they took a page from Sonny's book. My best friend is no longer here. Sonny is still bagging groceries in spite of a world standing upon the brink. As I kill myself a cocktail at a time and wallow in my past failure's misery, yet I am viewed better than a man who got handed a far worse hand than I. Seems it's the world that's fractured in its logic. Either way, no matter the shameful, sad stares, Sonny just keeps smiling through it all. And that one.
That's funny. Throughout your work, and I'm glad I have a copy of your book in front of me, because that really helps. Like I said again, the words are so powerful. They're just, to me, just nuggets of truth in every poem. Just nuggets of truth. And I really appreciate that, and I'm sure other readers will as well. Is your book available on Amazon.com?
Currently, we just love Lulu so much that they won't even get it up on Amazon. But anyway, no, it will be on Amazon eventually. It is not at the moment, but we are trying to get it over there. So
Okay, so if If one of our listeners wanted to buy your book, they'll need to head over to lulupress.com.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Get you a copy.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Beautiful. Keep going. Share some more of your work.
Okay. I'm gonna lighten the mood a little bit and get back to my normal party girl self. So, this is one I'm going to dedicate to all the folks in the cheap seats tonight. This is called The Devil Mrs. Jones Made Me Do It. I never liked Coke, but I always enjoyed its smell. Drugs are not good for everyone, so leave the heavy stuff to trained professionals like myself. Big girls and high-proof cocktails have always been a preferred poison of mine, although I'm up to try just about anything on occasion. Well, almost anything, because although I dabbled on occasion, sobriety is one vice that's truly not my cup of tea. Because when it comes to explaining how you ended up going the wrong way down the interstate with a dwarf hooker and a sack of blow, you just can't blame that shit on Skittles and Ben & Jerry's. Cheers. That's the end of that one. I had to lighten it a little bit. We were getting so deep. I don't want people to think I have a brain.
Oh, don't worry. Don't fret.
Oh, thank you. That's so nice.
Especially if you're on my show.
Oh, I love being on this show. It's so blind. Well, you think I quit doing podcasts? I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. I can be on Michael's show and have fun and act like a crazy person.
We're the little show that could. The little show that could. All right. please continue. Share another work, my friend. I'm enjoying it.
Okay. Here's one of my particular favorites. It's called Belle South. Silence will speak if you listen close enough. It may be the wind through the trees or its beautiful kiss through a chime. It may be a sunset upon an ocean or simply a view from a backyard, but it speaks to the soul nonetheless. I must distance myself from humanity, for it's human in title only. Compassion is replaced by hatred, a storm of mindless rage cast from those lost in endless misguided frustration. But in the silence is the ultimate understanding. It is in the silence I will remain long after my passing. If ever you are troubled, find a beautiful view and say hello. That's the end of that one.
Why is that your personal favorite? Why is that your favorite? Or one of your favorites?
I've always, I don't know. A lot of my poems could be stories to a degree. Sometimes they go on a little bit too long. Who knows? I'm known to ramble. But that was just, to me, my best just straight poem, in my opinion. Just, I was always a fan of Brodigan just because he was so to the point. And I just, that's just, I don't know. I just love the title. What people don't get was an old, it's funny. I can show you how deep I am. That was an old telephone company.
Oh, yes. I know Belle South.
Yeah, exactly. My secret's out.
My mom still has a phone with Belle South on it, so I know Belle South.
Oh, wow. But yeah, I just like it. For me, it was perfect as I could get it. I usually sometimes maybe you work on them. I don't. I kind of just, anybody knows I'm a little bit out there, but no,
right,
it was just,
right.
It was just a perfect poem. It worked. I didn't need to change anything. So.
Well, it's beautiful. Silence will speak if you listen close enough. Wow. That packs a punch. That truly packs a punch. Wow.
Yeah.
Share another.
All right, I'm gonna go really deep and dedicate this to my favorite twerk dancer. If she's listening and loves alcoholic editor writers, you can contact the show and Michael will give you my number. It's called.
Yes, I will.
Thank you, Michael. You're a true friend. You're a gentleman and a scholar. But anyway, it's called Sexy Lecture.
All right.
I had to finish 4 books, format a dozen more. I mixed the drinks and decided to watch a twerk dancer instead. take her magnificent backyard. You have to keep your priorities straight. Never keep a woman waiting, so they say. Cheers. There you go. She's so deep. I mean, you've got this great, all these deep, like, wow, he tried to, awesome stuff, and then you get, oh, he's a complete dumbass. Thank you. Bravo to me.
True. I remember when I read Sexy Lexi, I wasn't expecting a twerk dancer.
No, I give it all, everything to everybody, entertain everybody.
You do. Some poets claim that a poem is like a living creature. Once it's out there, there's not much you can do to correct or improve it, while others edit meticulously, not leaving much from the original draft form. What is your take on it? Are you an editor?
Yeah, mine is kind of like a lab experiment that escapes.
Break that down.
That's what my poems are like. And by the time I sober up and read them, I'm like, wow, that's where that went. Oops, I see it in publication somewhere. So yeah. Hey, it's only
knowing that
you, because I'm not going to get the conventional answers.
I know, I can tell. Knowing that you are a jokester by heart, whether you want to be or not, then it sounds sometimes like you don't want to be. Does writing energize or exhaust you?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, it like when you, as me and Ryan, we always tell them, deep cuts. The stuff that's really deep can exhaust you at times, and that's why sometimes you'll read something really funny. It's just because, like I can't, it's like with the book, I couldn't just give you, because that book, when it comes to editing, there's like 15 drafts of that book. It got ridiculous. It drove me really crazy, but I think when I put it together, I did a damn good job, but it just, it can exhaust you at times. I mean, something make everybody laugh is great, but then when you go deep, it just, takes something out of you. That book definitely took something out of you.
Oh, I'm sure. I can understand.
It was a lot of work. So, they're all work, but I know. But for me, it's like, I don't want to do this. That's why I have a co-editor.
Right. Well, let me ask this question then, as before we continue with your work. Have you ever thought about writing under a pseudonym? Would it have been easier to do that in terms of sharing your soul?
Oh, well, no, I have actually done that.
Oh, okay.
I've put it in the book. But I can't give them away because then, the Legion of Doom will take away my villain card. So, no. I'm so crazy, I got a friend that writes a ton of books, and I write books by other people that probably nobody ever read. They're like, wow, who is this nutcase?
Oh, wow.
So, I like John. So, yeah.
Wow. You're the first guest I've ever had that has a pseudonym. Wow.
Yes.
That's incredible. Thank you.
There may be a book on the market called Frank Murphy If Walls Could Speak. I don't know. Some people think we're the same person, but we're really not. But,
okay. Okay. All right. I'll keep that in mind. All right. Share some more of your work, my friend. I'm gonna stay out of it. Share some more of your work.
Okay. Here's one called Haunted Truth. They say a ghost is caught in a moment of perpetual misery, haunted by their past, stuck for eternity. I am haunted, yet I breathe air into my lungs. I can be seen, yet I choose to remain invisible. I guess I understand the hell of a burden, of a memory you cannot escape. The time is endless, our lives are not. But to be trapped in rewind, I can certainly hold sympathy for the ghost that haunts a location and the reflection that haunts me. The empty night and lost souls alike. Salute. Stand to that one. So there you go.
You end many of your poems with a salute or cheers or bye-bye now.
Yeah. Bye-bye, kisses, toodles. Yeah, I know.
Yes. Tell me about that. Why do you...
Wow, Michael, I bet
Why do
you
you
always
do that?
like. I can't wait to have this psychopath on the show who just completely messes. You know, I just there's a thing. And
you can tell I read your book too. I read your book.
Oh,
I
I
read
know.
your book. You need to know that.
Well, I know. You have my sympathy, but I was influenced by a lot of comedians because that's really kind of the road I wanted to go. I really wanted to be a comedic writer, so I just kind of like to always mess with the reader. I like to make them have fun. You know, I don't want anything I do to be stock. I like it to all be me. There's one thing about when you read one of my books, you know it's one of mine, and I want the reader to have fun because I know what it's like to be miserable. So it's you think about it when you read this and the writer's all of a sudden talking to you directly and messing with you. It kind of makes because like I'm always appreciative of people who buy my books or read my work, and I just want them to laugh. I want them to feel good and kind of maybe suspend reality for a little moment because life can be hell at times. So
yes, sir.
I just that's why I do it. It's not to be a jerk. It's just to make everybody laugh.
Okay. All right then. Share another poem.
All right. I'm reading so many deep ones. It's amazing. People are like, "Wow, John actually has a brain." Wow, this is scary. No, this is this is one another favorite of mine personally. It's called the Decanter. She gave me a crystal decanter shipped from Ireland to me on my birthday, telling me all great writers should have something equally great to hold their whiskey. It was a beautiful bottle, but a bottle nonetheless. She always loved extravagant gifts. She loved me then, and I loved the page. I'll never be a great writer, but I have known a few in my time. I still have the memories along with that decanter. I still have the words that no longer have her. It seems it would have suited another far better than me. It holds the poison as my body traps my soul. It's damn near empty now. Seems I have much in common with that decanter, and nothing much in this life after all. So,
we have another caller, John. We have another caller. All right. Let's bring this person on. Area code 717. The first three numbers are 672. You're on the air with John Patrick Robbins.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey, John. This is Kevin Hipschman. How you doing?
Hey, Kevin, how you doing? Outstanding
Good.
writer.
I'm digging the show.
Hey, man, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, don't worry, Michael.
Hey,
this one's actually got talent and a great writer and editor of the Fearless Poetry Zine.
Hey, will you take a request for me?
Sure.
Okay, I want to hear Poetry Fakeness.
Poetry Fakeness, okay.
Yeah.
Well, now I actually got to look that one up. Okay. What number is that one? Now I have to learn how to count. I mean, I didn't know how to do that. That's what Scott does. He counts for me. Okay, let's see. Poetry Fakeness.
Page 57.
Page 57.
Wow. There you go. Okay. Awesome. Yes, I'll do it to you. Let me get there. Let's see. Page 50. Michael's like, wow, John is so prepared. I'm like, yeah. I mean, that's why he has me on the show.
Yeah, I earmarked this one, so yeah, I like this one too.
Okay. Yeah. All right, let me try to get through this one and not stumble, but this is my good friend Kevin. Awesome writer. You should have him on the show. The world
thanks.
never needed. All right. Yeah.
All right, thanks.
All right, brother.
Bye.
Bye. All right, Poetry Fakeness. The world never needed poetry reading. It doesn't need preaching when all hell breaks loose from some pompous windbag. I view Facebook like a disease, much like this virus. It infects the brain, making the unimportant feel relevant. I never felt important or relevant. I just pen lines because murder can get messy. I pen lines because I always have, and will do so, no matter if others read them or not. I no longer desire to be at the table of so-called intellectuals, for they are the most toxic group of people I have ever known. I only have a desire to pen lines that suit me and nobody else. The world could learn a lot from silence. It speaks more to an individual's true character than playing games and bullshitting one another into thinking we are all one big happy family. Writers are vastly insecure children, all needing acceptance. And editors have all long since been driven insane from the reality of the job. I never concern myself with false praise, for your hatred is pure, your mock concern is not. It's not in the things you say to make others believe you are better than you truly are. My best lines are for the page, not kissing another's ass. Nobody needs poetry, for true writers know the deck is always stacked against them. I'll never read you what I prefer for you to read yourself. I write because the asylum is full and my days grow short. I am a writer and nothing more. All right, keep that one. Goes up to
what
the
was it like?
Yes.
What was it like to write this particular piece? Because this, in my mind, sets you apart from others. You know what I'm saying? You're showing disdain for others. I mean, I guess in terms of feedback, I mean, like, wow. That's all I can say.
No, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's just, well, that's the thing. It's not like I'm just not targeting certain people or anything like that. It's just, you know, I mean, with the book and with everything I was kind of going through, it's just sometimes you get set up with the job. You get set up with, you know, I don't it's just hard to explain. That's just how I feel sometimes, at times.
Yes.
It's not directed at anybody in particular. It's just, or if it is, I damn sure ain't going to say it. No, I'm, you know.
Right. Oh, I understand.
Yeah. Sometimes I do have that, you know, I write about, I'm the one guy who, I don't filter anything. I say whatever I want, and sometimes it makes me a villain. But I don't really think it makes me a villain because I just speak my mind. I think honesty, you can't really shun somebody for being themselves. And I'm myself 100%. And if you don't like it, you know where the door is. You know
where the door is. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know. But I don't think I'm a joke for that. I'm just honest, and that's a very dangerous thing to be nowadays.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is. I mean, I agree 100%. Wow. Share another poem.
Yeah.
Share another poem.
All right. I'm gonna let's see here. As I go through, like, wow, John, you're once again so prepared for this fine poetry reading. Okay, here's one. If you people want to go and kind of, wow, he just likes to smack everybody pretty much. He's verbally abusive. This is called Doing Time Within My Mind. She asked me why I always seem to love wallowing in my misery, and better yet, why I'd never left a small island that seemed to suit me more as a prison cell than a home. I was never happy unless I was drunk, and I was seldom happy if ever she was around. Sometimes the wrong people in your life can make you feel more empty than if you were actually in a room with only your own thoughts. I ignored her like I did those that never concerned my thoughts or shared anything more than a bed and an orgasm. Misery starts from within, and some people would be lost without something to bitch about. I am empty, the page seldom is. I have plenty of shared rambling thoughts from the writers that have visited my mind's asylum. If I was to spend my existence in false imprisonment, then, dear Lord, please give me solitary confinement. And that's the end of that one. I'm so nice. No wonder I have a love.
In your book, that poem is on page 3, and page 4 is Bell South. So how do you feel about doing time within my mind? Was there, I mean, did you think like, wow, I need to put those two poems together? How does that process work for you? How did you go about positioning the poems in your book?
Well, to me, like the flow of a book is like a great album. It is like music. to me.
Okay.
And it has to flow. It has to have this, you know, if I just kind of kept the same vibe, it would just be like, God, this guy's just a bitter prick. And but I don't want to do that. So I want to, like, lighten the mood, then I hit you with the hammer over the head, then I make you laugh, then I take you out for drinks, then you're like, wow, he's a great guy, then I leave you and make you think I'm a jerk. So, yeah.
Right. That's exactly what happened.
It's just the flow is very important.
The way I read it.
Thank you. There you go. The flow is very important to me, and it was just kind of showing you. It was like taking into my life is what the book was like. I am very private, and so it's just like, you know. I mean, people don't know this, but I'm actually an editor. I don't want to advertise that because I don't want them to bother me anymore. But that,
right. All right.
No, I mean, that's just what it is. It's like behind the scenes. I was not going to filter it all and just let you see how it is. And I'm just glad it connects to me. For the people who love it, they're the ones that I care about. And if they don't, like I said. Yeah.
Well, do you think that someone could be a poet if they don't feel strong emotions? There's a lot of strong emotions in your work.
Well, yeah, I think there's plenty of people that run around and don't have a lot of strong, you know, it's like, you know, you don't have to do like I do. In fact, I think a lot of people don't. It's not easy to do that, you know, but that's just how I write. I didn't come from an academic background. I wasn't even supposed to do this at all. I was kind of like, if you go from when I was growing up as a kid, which is a real horror story, you know, I was just told I couldn't do this, that I would, you know, and I mean, so yeah, I mean, I don't know, I just, you don't have to write the way I do. I just never had anybody mess with it, so this is why I write the way I do. You don't have to write deep. Some people don't. There's quite a few people who don't, actually, but, you know, I can't condemn anybody for how they do their, you know, thing. Art is just that. It's self-expression, and there really is no good or bad art. It's like music.
Okay.
You may not like something, but there's always somebody who loves that song, you know, or that, and so to me, I don't judge anything like that.
Okay.
So I don't know. Sorry if I just rambled.
No, you didn't. I mean, it's fascinating. Just listening to you is great. It's great. So what do you hope that readers get from encountering your poems? One, that you're human, that you speak truth. What else do you hope that they get from encountering your work?
I mean, I don't know what just the realness. Just, you know, aside from the, you know, unfortunately, probably the editing thing's probably causing me more backlash than anything. I got in this to be a writer, not an editor. You know? Okay. And I really, that's the thing. You know, I'm just myself. You know, I'm not some, I'm not some monster. I'm just me. You know, take the time to read it, and you might dig it or you might not, but at least you'll know where I stand. I'll put it that way.
Right.
So,
well, let's take a brief break, and we'll be right back. We are back. I am Michael Anthony Ingram. I am here with John Patrick Robbins, and he's sharing poetry from his book, his newest book, The Still Night Sessions. Tell me about the title.
The title was just something I had for years before I even had my first book out. Once technically A Cold Beer Boots a Warm Heart. I had that title. And I'm a real big jazz fan. So, there's always those jazz sessions that they would have, they would name the different, sessions and all that. And so I liked that title. And I said that just flowed. I liked it. And so I just kept it. Like some people say you got to write it down right away. So no, it was just a title I had for a lot of years. And it's just, but that's mainly its influence, really. So.
Steel Night Sessions. It's a beautiful title. It really is. And it fits the work perfectly. Please share some more of your work, John. Please, please, please.
All right. This is, I guess, my absolute favorite of the book. And I guess I'll explain afterwards. It's called Across Something. We parked and watched the sunrise on that cold October morning, standing on a dead-end street that had an incredible view. It's perfect, baby, you said to me as we stood together. I remained silent, for even my smart-ass nature couldn't ruin the moment. As the sun rose over the trees and embraced the earth, in that moment, all was perfect. It remains an evergreen in my nightmare's existence. I recall us together as a dream. Now my life is vacant of any form of true happiness. The sacrifice made remains unblemished. As we viewed the world awaken together, I reflect upon this chapter often. In the back pages of my life story, there are many thoughts I hold tightly, as now I alone, which I only can held on to you. There are many regrets. There are just as many memories I cherish. This was just a glimpse inside. Watch the sunrise if you can with someone you truly love. This life knows much tragedy. Make an evergreen for yourself and hold on to whatever brings you happiness, if only you can. That's the end of that one. So.
Wow. Beautiful, buddy.
Thank you. That was that's and that's people don't know that's the close of the book, but I think that's probably the whole thing about the book is like and I don't mean this in a bad way, and I know people probably will take it that way, but as much as art's important, people in your life are way more important.
Yes.
Because I think that's the thing. I kind of lost all of that to this, and it was a very hollow thing at times. And so that was just the main message of that, and that was the closing poem. I just knew that was when I wrote it. I actually wrote that was at the very end of the book. I needed one more, and that was kind of on the spot, and that was it. So,
well, the two lines, this life knows much tragedy. Make an evergreen for yourself. I like that.
Yeah. it's a true life one, and it's a little bit hard to read, but that's my favorite. If people want to know, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot when it comes to that book. That's just the book that I just really believe in. It's just me. A lot of times I kind of held back, or I would entertain more. I would, I'd give the reader a lot of laughs, but not in this one.
Well, to me, from reading it, it just sounded as if you were embracing who you are, the good, bad, and indifferent of you, and that's all we can do. That's all we can do. I don't know. I just, it's an incredible work, man.
I really appreciate that. But so it's not what people expect. I will say that. You grab it, it's more of an experience as far as the book goes, and like I said, those who read it were kind of like, well, it's very different. If you picked up any of my books, you can't compare it to those. It would be unfair. So, and nailed it on the head. It's the way it is. It's how I meant it to be. So,
and I may have already asked this question before, but what surprised you the most about producing such a work?
I think my co-editor Beth Scott would tell you what surprised me is how much crazy things happened around this book. I mean, just like our our first show that didn't happen.
Right.
It's true. Again, if you need electrician, do not call me. But there was so much bad that really was that happened in life, like anything in life, that all this came from that, and yet it created something really powerful and really different, and that's what amazed me. And I think, honestly, to be honest, I was completely nervous when I put it out there. And I think that's good.
Okay.
I think you should be. I don't want to be very complacent with my work, ever.
Yes.
If it's not changing, then I don't want to do it anymore. So, yeah.
Well,
yes.
as you once this pandemic is over, whenever that is going to be, hopefully sometime soon.
Mm-hmm.
How important is it to you to participate in poetry readings and other live events? Do you share your poems with anyone before you decide to complete them, to completely finish them? Are you part of a writing workshop? That's a lot in one thing, but how important is it to share your work?
As far as promoting the book and reading, I'll gladly do that.
Okay.
I actually am not that confident as a reader. I just don't think I'm all that great because I'm kind of a cut up. I can't help it. I'll always crack a joke. That's just me. I don't know if you noticed this. But,
okay. Okay. Yeah, I've noticed.
Yeah, well, I hope so. As far as a workshop or letting other people see my work, and then, I got published and kind of did everything my own way, and I think, but it is good sometimes to have outside input. It is. You shouldn't. I always want to push myself artistically, but then again, I could have taken this same book and sent it off somewhere else, and maybe they would have, chopped it up, done this, done that. It wouldn't be the same.
Mm-hmm.
You could just have another ordinary poetry book, and I don't want to do that. And that's not a knock against anybody. That's just, I knew that I could do it and I could put it together, and so ultimately you got to be your worst critic, and I am. Because for as many things as you read in the still night, there's probably a ton more things that was cut out. So, yeah. But no, I'm not a part of any kind of workshops or anything like that, because those poor people, if they try to teach me something, I feel sorry for them.
I've been working on a book now for 15 years, and it's almost finished. Actually, it is finished. But I'm afraid to take the next step in terms of publishing. I'm afraid to do that. And I'm afraid to let my work be seen by others. I guess because it is so personal.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to overcome that, to just do it. Any suggestions?
It's the hardest thing to do. With this book, it's not like I didn't have an editor. It's not like that, so it is hard. Like, I went through this deeply personal, and then to hand it over, sometimes it's the hardest thing to do. Maybe not for some people, but I do get that, because this book, God, it's taken forever. If you think how long the title was sitting, there's a whole other version of this.
Right.
And to be honest, it's pure crap. And I'm glad that I totally redid it. There was like there's a 40 poem version of this. And it's just not what it should have been, and I knew it. It's the hardest thing to do to hand it over. That's up to the artist. That's you all internally. Sometimes it is hard to give something that's part of you up, and then be like, okay, let's hand it over to the buzzard, so to speak, and let them pick it apart. And I can't really tell anybody how. That's why, as far as like I am as an editor, I try not to do that. I don't want to go and say, oh, you need to change. I can't tell somebody how they need to express themselves. And, that's why I'm probably the worst editor, but I just try to you know, you can see where sometimes, there need to be some changes made. It depends on the editor that you're going to send it to. You know,
Okay.
If they really are good at what they do, I think it'll be a positive experience. But yeah, you got to get it out there because you're an artist and that's what you're meant to do.
We've got another caller.
Mm-hmm.
Another caller on the line. I'm going to bring this person on. Area code 504. The first three numbers are 228. You're on the air with John Patrick Robbins. Good evening.
Hey, John, just wanted to say that the new poems, they really do have a depth to them and almost like a different level of craftsmanship. And so I say keep going with that. Whatever terrible stuff you had to go through to get those poems, find some more terrible stuff to go through for a little while.
Well, thank you, brother. That's a hell of a compliment, man. I really do appreciate that. I really do.
It's nice.
Yeah, no problem at all. Just really, really great from this book. It's a different level. So I would, float around with it for a while. That's what I would say. That's what I would say. Yeah. And Michael, as far as putting your book out, think of it this way: if it's personal to you and you just keep it, you don't give it a chance to become personal to somebody else.
Oh wow! Now that's deep. That's deep. That's deep. That's a deep one.
All right, y'all.
Thank you for that.
Great show.
All
John,
right.
fantastic stuff. All right, brother. All right.
Thank you, brother. Yeah.
That was nice.
You
got good people supporting you, my friend.
That's the best compliment. I care about the writers I respect. And, if they dig it, and everybody who is in that kind of circle, all my brothers, the ones that can't call in, it's all been that kind of reaction. And it's just, I don't know, I'm like going in a different direction. I'm not saying I can't make people laugh, because I'm always going to make them. I'm always me. But it's just different, and I want to explore that space. I think there's a lot more for me to say, and I really do appreciate that from Todd Cirillo, who's another great writer and publisher, and he could definitely answer all the editorial questions way better than I can.
Well, we have time for one more poem, one more good poem. Please share another.
One more good poem.
Yes.
Okay. Well, you know what, Michael? I wrote one just for yourself. No.
All right, buddy. All right.
I'm not gonna. I'll be kind of funny. Let's go mid tempo.
Okay.
I really want to push the book, so I'm not gonna be a clown. Sometimes I am viewed a villain. So this is called "Villains Are Needed." Facebook friends are bullshit, as virtual anything won't get you anywhere in reality. Pain, death, and taxes are concrete. Riders' egos are built like castles, sitting in nervous anticipation of the tide. I never met a rider I'd concern myself over if they were in a bar. But I have met many who proved to me hearing loss isn't such a bad deal after all. You can concern yourself with a fake person's approval. I have no concern for anyone but myself. Truth speaks louder than page likes and bullshit comments. Hate is needed because more truth is told than rage, as there is no substance in sugary sweet words with no real meaning. I need only my two legs to support myself. Now tell yourself the same and stop concerning yourself with false praise and friends you'll never meet. Next customer, please. And there you go.
Wow.
Not to sound like a jerk, I mean.
What is next for you creatively? Where do you go from here?
I'm kind of going on that different track right now, going way deeper, and there will be there's a novel in the works. I know writers always say that, but, there's a novel in the works. Obviously, more poetry, but it's going to be some, if you like the Still Night, it's probably the direction I'm going. And I like the direction I'm going right now. So that's where I'm heading. Yeah.
You remind me of Dostoevsky. Crime and Punishment.
Yes, I never would have thought that comparison, but wow. I can't even spell that name.
No, it's just that your work is so real.
Yeah. No. I do appreciate that. I'm just, you know me.
Yeah. See, I can be high class too.
No, you're all class, man. All class. All class. I mean that.
Well, look, I want to thank you for gracing us tonight with your work. You know, if it's a great show, it's 100% due to having a great guest, and you're a great guest. I want you to come back as many times as you'd like to come back. Just call me and say, Michael, hey, I want to come on, and I'm like, yes, we'll make it happen.
Oh man, thank you so much, and I promise to be on back a little bit sooner than last time. Okay. Hopefully I won't get hit by lightning and nothing will burn down. But you never know with me, Michael.
That's true. You never know. You never know. Well, to you, I say good night. To our listening audience, I say good night and be safe out there. It's a tough world sometimes, but we can make it. Be evergreen, as John would say. All right, good people. Have a nice evening. Good night.
You have just listened to the Quintessential Listening Poetry Online Radio Podcast with your host, Dr. Michael Anthony Ingram. Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, Spotify, or Stitcher. And make sure to catch our next episode.